Today I wanted to do a reaction to this Uncut Hoops video. I love Uncut Hoops. I'll link him down in the description. He's a great channel, exposing narratives, everything like that. And he's done a bunch of videos about Jayson Tatum. And as a Boston fan, I really respect that because, I love Jayson Tatum and he gets a ton of hate. Not really even sure why, but wanted to watch this video and react to it. Have not seen it yet. I mean, that's the point of a reaction video. But I know sometimes I think people have watched it or some of the video. But yeah, let's just get into this one here.
We are less than 2 weeks away from the start of the NBA Finals. And right now the Boston Celtics are back on the biggest stage for the second time in 3 seasons. Now, unlike 2022, this Celtics team, them making the finals wasn't a lot of fanfare, a lot of celebration. Yep. Because honestly, they were expected to do this and more.
And I just want to say, if the Eastern Conference was fully healthy, I actually think it would have been pretty tough. You have to go through the Bucks, the Knicks, if they were fully healthy, they were good, or the Sixers. I mean, they're kind of choke artists there, but yeah, I mean, it's a good conference when everyone's healthy, but just them getting to the finals was like, all right, now the real playoffs start. I wasn't even that excited about it, which is sad to say.
So where does that put us? The Boston Celtics, they won 64 games, entered the playoffs, went 12-2 versus the East, who is really, really depleted. There's not many narratives you can build or create off a team that's been this dominant for the entire season. So what happens with ESPN nowadays? They just start making up stuff. Tatum somehow doesn't like Brown, he's jealous. They pin these two superstars against each other.
A lot of chatter online yesterday, to whatever degree this is important and relevant, about Jayson Tatum's reaction. When Jaylen Brown wins that award, and the moment that it happens, the rest of the team just goes crazy. And you were talking about it in our meeting earlier this morning. They all were so genuinely, look at them, they're all so genuinely excited for him. And you did not seem to think that it was mirrored in Jayson's.
I get it, ESPN's the bottom.
I actually didn't see. I watch Get Up most mornings. I didn't see that part. I actually think that's really funny. I mean, yeah, they're just grasping at straws here. Literally, like Uncut Hoops said, making stuff up. I mean, really, he doesn't look even the slightest bit excited. Like, does he have to be jumping up and down and throwing confetti in the air? Like, I don't really think he cares all that much. He already won it 2 years ago. Like, he's excited for Jaylen. Like, they don't hate each other, dude. I don't know why ESPN continues to say this stuff. I mean, he clearly looks happy for Jaylen Brown. That's it.
Out of the barrel for sports coverage, but this right here is like middle school girl level stuff. This right here isn't even basketball, isn't even sports analysis.
Yeah.
It's just a glorified TMZ. And the funny thing is, Tatum, they highlight his face, and he's clearly happy for Jaylen and celebrating him winning the East MVP. So you're not going to gaslight me in real time when Tatum is clearly happy for him and say he's not, and he's jealous of Brown. And here's the worst thing of all. Jaylen and Jayson collectively combined for 60 points per game in this year's conference finals. One of only a handful of duos to ever do this in league history. If this was any other tandem...
And I will say, it really could have gone either way. Tatum had, I forget exact stats, but I think he had better overall raw stats. I mean, I'm completely fine with Jaylen winning. I mean, he saved us in game 1, and then, Tatum had the OT. Like, it was a coin flip, and I think Brown winning is completely fine.
10 years ago, 5 years ago, heck, even 30 years ago. We wouldn't be talking about if they can play together, they can complement each other. We'd be boosting them up and praising them for their great play on both ends.
He's absolutely right. I mean, I was, too young, but I'm sure back in the 80s you talk about Magic and Kareem. Like, it's not like, oh, does Magic hate Kareem and does blah, blah, blah. Like, no, they're two great players on a great team. And that's the thing, it's a team. Like, there's going to be multiple players. Like, this guy's going to make a big play, then the next guy's going to make a big play. I mean, that's how it works in basketball, but it's just turned into pitting stars against each other, and it's so dumb.
The court. But for some odd reason with Tatum and Brown, we got to gaslight the audience these guys don't like each other and are somehow jealous of each other's success. And if you've followed Boston for a long time in the Jayson Jaylen era, really the media since 2020 have been trying to break these two guys up at every single turn.
Yep.
I mean, back in 2021, when Boston was a 500 team, the roster was in shambles. People were demanding this duo get broken up on the spot.
Yep.
And even last year, after Game 7 versus the Heat, when they lost at home, people were saying split this duo up, they won't work, and they won't be successful going forward.
Slick, here's my first thought. Thought about this morning for a long time. You have to break up the duo of Jayson Tatum and Jaylen.
I'm sorry, is that LaShawn McCoy right there? Right on the left? I'm not... I don't know if he says anything in this clip, but, really?
Brown.
So you think it's time to
Okay,
blow
he
up the
didn't.
Jays?
That's
Why?
fair.
It is because look, it's not a lot of high-fiving, it's not a lot of chest bumping. When one is having success, the other one is not, and that's how it is. So as bad as we all would like
What?
to see it work, they can't coexist.
Didn't make sense.
To me, that's ultimately what the Boston Celtics are missing. They have
I think that's LaShawn
tremendous
McCoy.
talent.
What's it like to learn math on
Okay.
Brilliant.org? Brilliant gets you hands-on to help you learn by doing.
Nice ad right there.
And you have these two all-NBA players. One of them has to go.
The fundamental idea of breaking up...
Look, I've said before this playoff run that if we don't win, I was honestly so... I would be so fed up that, like, I don't care if you break up the team and, like, do something else. But then I thought, like, you know, I do think the duo can work. I just think if you don't win this year, it's like, what are you even doing? Because you're clearly the best team by miles ahead of any other team. But it's like, you know, to say this duo can't work and to think you're going to find a better option, like, it's just ridiculous. Like, you know, you can't do much better than what you have here.
two players who haven't even hit 30 yet or multiple-time All-Stars. That in itself is an idiotic premise. And look, you guys know this, the NBA, it's a talent league and a superstar-driven league.
Mm-hmm.
And whether you think Tatum's a top 10 player, top 5 player, or Jaylen a top 20 or 25 player, these two guys undoubtedly are very talented players. Guys like Tatum and Jaylen, they don't grow on trees.
Yeah,
And the fact that
exactly.
they were both Celtics draft picks, they were born and bred in Boston. Breaking these two guys up should never be on the table. And luckily for Celtics fans...
Yeah, that's why I was like, I kind of backtracked on what I was thinking, because, like I just said, where are you going to find these guys? Where are you going to find a first-team All-NBA player? Like he just said, they don't grow on trees. Like, you gotta make it work, and I'm hoping they make it work this year, because if they don't, then I don't know what else to do.
Brad Stevens did the exact opposite after last year's Game 7, as he flipped Marcus Smart, Rob Williams, and Grant Williams for Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis. If Boston wins the championship this season, which I think they will do, the Drew Holiday trade, Porzingis trade, it'll go down in Celtics lore as two of the biggest robberies in franchise history.
I was just thinking about this earlier. Drew Holiday, to me, just is better Marcus Smart in every area. He's better on offense. He can rebound. He's a good play. You know, Marcus was a fine playmaker, but Drew's a better shooter. And honestly, Drew's probably a better defender. I mean, I know Marcus Smart won the Defensive Player of the Year. I don't really, that was kind of a weird race. It was like him and Mikal Bridges, like what? But I just think Drew Holiday just does everything that Marcus Smart does, but better. And then we all know Porzingis, like, yeah, I mean, absolute steals.
Now, looking back at the current Celtics team, one of the biggest narratives about them is they aren't clutch and good in late-game situations. And look, to be fair to some people, Celtics teams in the past, very ISO-heavy late in games, got terrible shots, and there wasn't a ton of ball movement.
Yep.
But that was Boston in the past. The 2022 Celtics, even last year in 2023, late in games, they weren't great. But seeing someone like Charles Barkley, after Game 3 of the East Finals, say Boston still was bad in late game situations, I don't buy that.
they're the worst offense I've seen for grown folks. It's like, like it's like they just get a ball to one guy and go one-on-one. They win a lot of games because they got talent, but it's like what are they doing? It's like, here, Jayson, you get to the top of the key, go one-on-one, shoot a step back three. Jalen, you go back there, you make a move. Everybody just stands around. It's frustrating.
Boston concerns me because it's too much one-on-one, UD. It's not JB and JT feeding off of each other. It's your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn, okay?
And look, I don't want to...
I kind of don't disagree with that. I mean, that's how I felt for until this Indiana Pacers series. And I did make a video a couple days ago talking about this and talking about how many big plays we made in just one series, 3 games. It doesn't matter that we're playing the Pacers or whoever. Like, we're in close games, we got to try to win. In those 3 close games, we were down in all of them, I believe, and we stepped up, made plays, made big-time plays. Jaylen made a big-time shot. Tatum went off in overtime. Drew made a big defensive play. Derek White hit a big 3. 4 guys making big plays. And that's what I love to see, and maybe, they've turned over a new leaf. We'll see.
Toot my own horn, but for the Boston Celtics, I've watched about every game for the past 5 seasons. This year's Celtics team is drastically better than last year's team and infinitely better than the 2022 team.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, they won 64 games. I thought last year they probably should have won like 62 games. They lost a lot of crappy ones, but yeah, I mean, they're just miles ahead of these other teams. It's not even close.
When it comes to late game play, closing moments, this Celtics team has infinitely more options. As of course, Derek White can hit big shots, and then Drew Holiday is a veteran NBA champion, comes up big on defense.
And Drew Holiday, by the way, in the 2021 finals, had that huge steal on Booker and then threw the alley-oop to Giannis. So he's no stranger to making big plays in big spots.
And offense. And if they add Porzingis for the finals, just another added weapon to the arsenal for Boston late in games. And looking at the actual numbers, the facts, and the data, the 23 Celtics in clutch games in the playoffs compared to this year's team, it's night and day.
Oh my gosh. These ads are out of control.
If you're looking to get a degree in IT or cybersecurity, UMBC is waiving their application fee through May 31st.
Boston in 23, ranked 9th in scoring, 10th in true shooting percentage, 6th in assists, 9th in plus minus, and 8th in defensive rating. This year's team, 1st in points per game, 4th in true shooting percentage, 1st in assists, 1st in plus minus, and 2nd in offensive rating.
Yeah, it's...
Like I said seconds ago, this year's Celtics team in the clutch isn't comparable to last year's team. And one thing fans might say is that...
Those are pretty insane. I mean, yeah, it is. I mean, you still... I still look at, like, the Nuggets games. Those were close games. And then we don't pull out the win. That's, like, the team everyone thought we were going to play in the finals. And the Nuggets are a clutch team, I'll tell you that. So, playing them and not winning against them in the regular season was tough. But, yeah, like, in these playoffs, we've looked really good in the clutch moments.
Well, this team's competition, it was weak, and really they weren't tested. Which I guess is a fair statement, is a true statement.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you gotta play who's in front of you. And looking at Boston in the East Finals specifically...
Yeah, you gotta play who's in front of you, but it is fair to criticize this run so far based on... Like, it's fair to criticize any championship run based on competition. It's not the team's fault that played them, but... It is fair to criticize based on the competition if you want. Again, not the Celtics' fault, but yeah, they didn't play a whole lot. And if they did play a full team, it was only for like a game or two. So
when they were tested, they responded every single time.
That's what I said.
Look at Game 1, for example. Jaylen Brown, the clutch shot in the corner.
Yep.
Tatum, also Game 1, had 10 points in overtime, including a clutch 3-pointer. Game 3 in Indy, the Pacers in the fourth quarter shot 38%. Jayson Tatum, a big-time clutch 3, and a pass to Horford from the corner for another 3-pointer. And of course, Drew Holiday, the and one layup, and the steal on Nembhard.
Yep.
And staying on Game 3 for 1 second, Barkley after this game, like you saw, said Boston's fourth quarter offense was too ISO heavy, too much dribbling.
Oh, that was after Game 3?
And watching. And I watched this game in real time.
Really?
I rewatched it after these comments. And I don't see that looking at the game film and the actual product in front of me.
Doing everything to keep the Pacers from falling down 0-3. Brown throws it to Horford. Derek White back to Horford. McConnell on him. Horford trying to take advantage.
I think what Barkley is stuck on is the Celtics teams in years past. Because this team late in game...
Yeah, I didn't know that was after Game 3. I thought Game 3 was really an impressive win. And yeah, we didn't look like we were standing around at all at the end of that game.
They move the ball and isn't stagnant or ISO heavy. And that right there is what makes Boston so special. In numerous games, different players stepped up.
Yeah, I'm going to stop it right there. Just like I said, I have a video about just talking quickly about the moments that they've stepped up, just like he said. But overall, yeah, I mean, this was more video about the Celtics in general, but a little bit about Tatum too. I was kind of, thinking it was mostly about Tatum, but that's fine. I mean, it's still, there's a lot of Celtics haters, and I get it. You're not from Boston, you probably hate Boston teams. Like the Patriots. If you're a football fan and you're not from around here, you hate the Patriots. You hate Tom Brady, whatever. That's how it goes. Everyone's going to root against Boston, but like he said, they're much better this year. They're more experienced. They're just more talented, and they seem like they're more willing to I guess play as a team down the stretch and really get things done, because they have done that, especially in this Pacers series. I was happy to see him in close games, happy to see him close those things out. But, so this is a great video. Uncut Hoops, great channel. I'll link him in the description. He's phenomenal. But I just wanted to react to this because, people have been hating on Tatum, the Celtics, and we'll see what they can do against Dallas in the finals. But, anyways, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.